Do you ever wonder where we go after this? Are you high right now? Do you ever get nervous?
Welcome back to Modern Investing Techniques, episode 97 for July 5th, 2026. I'm Patrick, coming to you from Vancouver. Here's your daily market intelligence and today's practice trade. Quick reminder, everything we discuss here is for education and entertainment. The practice investment of the day uses simulated trades with no real money. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Always do your own research before putting real money to work. Aritzia earnings this week give TFSA holders a direct read on Canadian consumer spending strength before deciding on retail exposure. The S&P 500 closed at 7,483 and finished flat. The Nasdaq Composite closed at 25,833, down 0.8%. The TSX Composite closed at 35,247, up 0.8%. Earnings season is active with Aritzia and PepsiCo reports due. O-PEC Plus is set to approve another modest oil output increase for August. The Bank of Canada decision sits 2 weeks out with markets pricing steady rates. The Fed's next move remains the dominant macro variable. Energy and consumer discretionary sectors showed relative strength amid the mixed session. Value screens paired with volume confirmation can buffer portfolios when growth names rotate out of favor. Today's market shows depressed multiples in select consumer and energy names holding up better than momentum leaders on down days for the Nasdaq. Implement this by running a simple PE and free cash flow screen on the TSX or NYSE. Then check that same day volume exceeds the 20-day average before adding exposure. The approach worked well in 2022 when multiple compression protected dividend payers while high multiple tech corrected sharply. Risk comes from value traps where low multiples reflect permanent business erosion rather than temporary sentiment. Always require the volume filter to avoid false rebounds. Imagine you bought an ETF tracking Canadian consumer stocks last week when Aritzia guidance looked constructive. Your order filled at the ask, but the bid-ask spread on that ETF widened from 3 cents to 14 cents within the first 25 minutes of trading as retail volume spiked. What most retail investors don't realize is that market makers widen spreads precisely when order flow becomes one-sided. So your effective cost can jump 0.4% even on a commission-free platform. The professionals always check level 2 data or the time and sales tape for the prior 15 minutes before hitting market orders on anything below average daily volume. The biggest mistake with execution is assuming the quoted price is the price you'll get on fast moves. Instead, always use limit orders set 1 to 2 cents inside the current spread on ETFs or liquid stocks when volatility exceeds the 20-day average. This is a simulated trade for educational purposes only. No real money is involved. This is not financial advice. No new position initiated today. Aritzia earnings on July 9th could provide a consumer spending read-through, but no volume confirmation or multi-factor alignment exists yet. We are watching Aritzia for a post-earnings move above the 50-day moving average on volume exceeding the 20-day average. No setup meets the 3+ aligned factors threshold required during the current cold streak. Skipping trades when confirmation is missing preserves capital for higher quality setups. This demonstrates the discipline of waiting for volume and catalyst alignment rather than forcing action. The default during low conviction periods is to stay on the sidelines while maintaining a precise watch list. No newly closed trades since the last review. The most recent practice investment has already been reviewed. Current holdings remain open and pending their scheduled evaluation, so there is no new realized result to report today. Benzinga offers a Forex analysis framework that combines fundamental, technical, and sentiment layers in a single workflow. The method uses moving average crossovers for trend, COT data for sentiment, and interest rate differentials for fundamental bias, This gives Canadian investors an edge on USDCAD moves that affect cross-border holdings. Access the free tier on Benzinga Pro or their public research feed. Daily 13F style updates on ARK's buys let investors replicate or fade institutional moves in high conviction names within 24 hours. The edge comes from seeing exactly which fallen stocks receive fresh capital when broader sentiment is negative. Track via the free ARK Invest daily trade email or the Motley Fool summary. Bitcoin holds above $62,000 on crypto bill momentum. Fresh legislative traction in Washington is supporting Bitcoin prices. This support could ease regulatory overhang for crypto-related equities and ETFs. The price level has remained resilient despite broader market volatility. Legislative progress provides a potential catalyst for continued stability. Investors should monitor closing prices relative to key thresholds. Volume confirmation above the 20-day average would strengthen any positioning signal. OPEC Plus approves August output increase. Delegates confirmed another modest quota hike. The decision increases the likelihood of softer energy prices later in the summer. This holds true if the deal remains intact through the period. Energy sector participants are now assessing supply implications. Crude benchmarks may face downward pressure from the additional output. Existing positions require monitoring against weekly price levels. Foxconn Q2 revenue jumps 40% year over year. The contract manufacturer reported strong growth in the quarter. Officials flagged ongoing geopolitical risks that could pressure margins. Revenue expansion reflects demand in key electronics segments. Margin concerns center on supply chain disruptions and trade tensions. The company remains a bellwether for global manufacturing trends. Support levels should be retested before any new exposure consideration. Open your brokerage platform, pull up Aritzia's chart, and mark the 50-day moving average plus yesterday's volume level. Set a price alert 3% above that average so you are notified the moment volume confirmation appears after earnings. That wraps up today's modern investing techniques. Remember, every trade is a learning opportunity, win or lose. Subscribe, share with a friend who wants to invest smarter, and we'll see you tomorrow. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at Nara Network. Links in the show notes. And before you go, this show is part of the Nara Network, a family of daily podcasts on tech, science, and markets, each one a short, sharp briefing you can finish on the commute. If today earned its place in your feed, here's your next listen. Tesla Shorts Time, your daily deep dive into everything Tesla. Find every show free at naranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.
Do you ever wonder where we go after this? Are you high right now? Do you ever get nervous? Do you ever stay awake, counting sheep like all the time? What's your life like? What's your purpose? When's your birthday? What's your sign? Are you down right now? Are you stuck up in the past? Are you still thinking about all the times that you didn't laugh?